You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello, and welcome to episode 254 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, July 4th. August?
August. We're in August now.
We're August.
Yeah.
August the 4th.
August the 4th.
2019.
2019. You want to redo that?
Nope, I'm going to keep it in.
Alright.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Hello, I am C-3PO Human Cyborg Relations.
I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile.
You're like a machine underneath, right? But sort of alive outside?
I'm a cybernetic organism, living tissue over a metal endoskeleton.
You're not quite, human, are you?
No, sir. I'm an android.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
Counterfeit, facsimile, replica.
We need some sort of robot. Ah, crap! I'm some sort of robot.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
By your command.
Hey, it's your host, Shawn. And who do we have today? We have a different guest. I was going to go over to Josh's house to record the podcast, and I texted him about a half an hour before, and I said, Josh, I'll see you soon. And he texted me, and he said, no, I'm at camp. I forgot. So, who do we have here today?
Oh, you have your little brother Rabino Heat with you today.
Making your triumphant return to the podcasting genre.
Yes, the world of podcasting has missed me a great bunch, so I figured I'd fill the gap.
The void.
The void.
Left by Josh.
That's right. And, so here I am.
Where would listeners know you from?
Well, that's a long list of mistakes, but one of them, you might remember me from doing the Road Report here on the Rusted Robot Podcast.
And isn't it true that you also once had your own podcast?
It is true. That was the Space Jam podcast, co-hosted by myself and my buddy Whit. We did that for 3 years, and we pulled the plug.
What happened?
We didn't want to anymore.
You didn't want to?
We didn't want to.
You just kind of gave up on podcasting?
Kind of got tired of it.
Do you miss it?
No.
You don't?
No. Oh. I don't miss all the work of it.
Oh, like the editing?
Yes.
Trying to find times to record?
Yes.
That's really it.
Yeah, I know.
Editing and recording.
But we would just basically talk about the same stuff every week, and nothing really changed. It was fine, but it was time for a change.
You did have several recurring segments, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you could say that.
You had your Florida Man headlines.
The Florida Man headlines. I miss the Florida Man headlines.
Yeah, me too. I miss listening to your podcast week in and week out.
Oh, you were the only one that did that.
Oh.
Okay, maybe not. Like 3 people.
You didn't have a lot of listeners?
No.
Oh. That happens.
It does happen.
So you had Florida Man headlines, you had your Celebrity Death of the Week.
Yeah.
And your celebrities were pretty obscure most of the time.
Obscure?
Yeah.
Well, you know what it was is I would scan the old Wikipedia page.
Uh-huh.
And I would go through celebrity deaths for that week.
Yeah.
And if they fell into any of the categories under space, because space was an acronym.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
What did it stand for?
Sports, pro wrestling, arts, comics, and entertainment.
Ooh.
Yeah, so if they fell under any of those, we tried to include them.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you don't miss it?
Some days I do. I miss doing something
to
get my creative outlet out. You know?
What are you going to do?
Friggin' no.
You don't friggin' know?
I don't friggin' know.
Oh. Well, how about you record this episode with me?
Okay.
It's episode 254.
254?!
It's not August. Or it's not July, I mean. Apparently it's August.
It's August now.
I'm so used to automatically just saying things that half the time I don't even know what I'm saying.
Right? Same here.
Yep. So, anyway, we're going to record a bit of an episode here. It's going to be a little bit different than what we're used to because you're not Josh.
I am not Josh.
You're not going to hate anything or argue with me this week, I guess.
No, I'm pretty neutral when it comes to that type of stuff.
Josh has some very strong opinions.
I have listened to some of the Rusted Robots with Josh as your co-host, and I've been there as well.
You have?
And, he really has a strong opinion about certain things, doesn't he? Yes, absolutely.
Yes, he does. In fact, last Sunday he sent me a text, and he said, checked out the new Katie Sackhoff show, Another Life. It is really bad. So what did I do?
You went and checked it out?
I went and checked it out last Sunday, and I was like, I think this is good. So that Sunday, I watched 5 episodes.
Oh, wow.
The following day, Monday, I watched the last 5 episodes. So unlike what I normally do and spend maybe 2 or 3, 4 weeks or 2 months checking out a show, I binged the whole thing within 2 days. It was really good.
That's unusual for you.
It is.
Because it usually takes you 2 months to get through like 2 episodes of anything.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm very distracted with reading, magazines, other TV shows, whatever, life.
Yeah. Model kits.
That's right. Not
models.
Not runway models, unfortunately. No. But I do what I can. So yeah, anyway, Another Life. Katie Sackhoff, who played Starbuck on the reimagined Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
Did you ever watch that show?
Yes, I did.
Okay. It was good. It takes place in an undetermined future. I'm going to say maybe 200 years from now. They've got faster than light travel, and there's some kind of device, spaceship thing that lands on the Earth, and it creates a glowy tower crystal type thing.
Oh, yes.
And they can't figure out how to communicate with it. So Katie Sackhoff's character, Nico Breckenridge, gets sent off on a mission in the ship with a bunch of people, and there's suspended animation, and every episode has some kind of disaster befalling the crew.
Of course.
And you don't know how they're going to get out of it. So it's 10 episodes of disaster after disaster, but it's so compelling. I don't care about scientific inaccuracies or whatever. Josh might have a different opinion. I don't know how many episodes he got into the show. If he just watched the one and turned it off, like he does, he rage quits.
Right. Yeah.
But I liked it.
Well, that's good. That's what counts. As long as you liked it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And I definitely recommend it to our viewers. There's lots of swearing in it.
Oh, good.
Bad words all around.
Bad words.
Mm-hmm. Explosions, death.
Oh.
Lots of mature content, but no nudity.
No nudity. Mm-hmm. So it is somewhat safe for the family to watch.
Probably not. Because
depending on how old your family is, of course.
Yes. Yeah, there are some adult situations that are not recommended for younger viewers.
Well, yeah, it's not like the younger viewers watch worse on YouTube or other things on the internet, so...
That's true, they have access to all the things.
Yeah.
But I liked the show, I watched it in 2 days, it was that good, and people who have been listening to Rusted Robot for a long time and may have opinions similar to me would definitely like this show.
Well, I haven't given it a shot yet, so I have no opinion or anything to add to that.
Okay.
Other than I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm still trying to finish off the 3rd season of Stranger Things. I have 2 episodes left.
Oh, I haven't started that.
Yes.
How are you finding it?
I'm enjoying it. But I want to just finish it now because...
Well, why haven't you?
Time, mostly.
Oh, you're working lots of hours.
Working lots of hours.
So you've been here in Timmins now, what, about 3 months?
I'd say closer to 4.
At the end of, just after Easter, right? End of April? So May, June, and July, so just just over 3 months. And you came here to reestablish your life form patterns.
Mm-hmm.
How's that working out for you?
Well, nothing is done overnight, as they say.
True enough.
So I will leave it at that. And
you've got a couple part-time jobs.
I got a couple of part-time jobs. I'm working, which I can say is at least progress. I'm not anywhere where I want to be yet. There's still lots to do.
Right.
Still lots to figure out. But if anyone is listening to this to get an update, because we know how curious people can be.
We certainly do.
Yes. I just want you all to know, you can probably hear it in my voice today. I'm a lot better mentally, and my morale has gone up.
That's good.
I would say quite a bit more.
Yeah.
But there's still days where I struggle.
There is. Like the other day.
I was just...
You said, all I want to do is chain smoke cigarettes and drink coffee all day.
That's all I wanted to do.
And drink all night and have fires.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can relate to that, except for the smoking part. But that does sound fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just sit around and enjoy ourselves and whatever. Well, I'm glad moving into your brother Shawn's house has been somewhat beneficial to you so far.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's a quiet prison.
Quiet prison?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I the warden?
Yeah, you're the warden.
Really?
Yeah.
I lay down the rules.
You lay down the rules.
And I make sure you follow them or else, right?
Yeah, or else.
Oh,
Dun.
You get locked in solitary confinement?
Yeah.
And stuff?
And stuff.
Right. Yeah, because I'm so mean. People who have been listening to me for the last 5.5 years know how mean I am.
Oh, I know, you're the meanest.
Totally.
Totally the meanest.
Yes.
Everything's fine. Everything's groovy.
Mm-hmm.
Things are improving. We had my daughter here for a visit for almost 2 weeks. And
2 weeks?
How long?
Almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
She was here for a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was an adventure.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son and your daughter, cousins as they are,
get
along famously.
They do.
They're only, 2 months apart, right? Because Bishop was born December 6th. She was February
2nd.
So yeah, 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And they had a great time. They hung out lots and they did things. And mostly played video games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've been playing a new video game lately.
I was playing Spider-Man on PS4.
And how was that?
I was enjoying the heck out of it.
Give us a review.
Well, if you've ever played the old Spider-Man games for the old PlayStations, Spider-Man 1, 2, the open concept, web sling around the city, that type of... It's all very the same.
Very open world?
Very open world. It's almost like a brand new story here. Mm. You're getting Spider-Man, I feel like, only a few years into him being Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
So... You get some background with some villains, and you get a new villain, and you get all these different kind of takes on things. And I never got to complete the game, but from what I got accomplished in it, I was a big fan of it. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. Kind of like those Batman Arkham games in a way.
Mm-hmm. So you definitely recommend it?
I do recommend it.
It's safe for young players and old players, all players alike?
All players alike.
Okay, and that's the PS4?
That's the PS4.
I see the game sitting over there, but I guess she has the PS4.
Yeah, it was Trinity's PlayStation.
And she left the game for you? Or
it was my game.
Oh, it was your game, but you don't have a machine.
I don't have the system.
I see how that works. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was trying to commandeer the PS4 as much as I could.
Yep.
While she was here. I tried to convince her to let me keep it when she left, but, that was not going to be happening.
No, it didn't happen.
It did not happen.
Because I don't see it here.
It's not.
No.
It's gone.
It's gone. Very sad.
Yeah.
But at least you had some game time.
Had some game time.
And you enjoyed it.
And I did.
And that's what matters.
And that's all that matters, yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Correct. So we talked about starting up our own podcast together, you and I.
Yes. We had this idea upon our travels back from Sault Ste. Marie a few weeks ago.
Oh, yes, when we went for the Canada Day long weekend.
That's right.
That's true, yes. So that's more than a month ago now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow, yeah.
And we haven't even done anything with that idea.
No, we've talked about it.
Should we regale the listeners with our idea?
I think we could give them a little taste.
Should we say what the title is? Or will somebody steal the idea that we'll never actually do anything with anyway?
You know what? I don't know, honestly, and somebody will probably take the idea without us even mentioning it. And because we're talking about it now, it'll be taken. Because
the thousands of Rested Robot listeners are going to share this episode with their friends, and one of those people is going to take the idea and run with it.
Exactly.
Create their own podcast.
And become super stupid famous.
Yes. Exactly. So let's just go ahead and we'll say it.
Okay.
We thought about calling it the Pop Culture Police Podcast, the PCPP.
That's right, the PCPP.
Yeah. And what we are is we are officers of cinema.
Yes.
And each episode we take a film or a TV show and break it down, put it in pop culture prison, and decide whether it needs to be put in solitary or whether it gets a pass. And
it's free to go.
Exactly.
Yes. But not only was that just part of the idea, there was a little bit more that got a little bit more creative and in-depth, which is ridiculous. And I think people would enjoy that. So let's go with this. So Halloween is going to be here in a couple of months.
It is.
Which means the costumes are going to be coming out soon.
Yes.
Which means we can go and buy those really crappy police Halloween costumes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so what we'll do is we'll dress up as the cops or the police of the pop culture police. And I don't know how or what length we would go to, but I jokingly said it would be fun to drive around in our uniforms and look for vehicles that have bumper stickers of pop culture.
Right. So, like, if they saw my car,
Which is full of them.
Full of what have I got? I've got Decepticon symbol on my hood.
Yeah.
I've got the Star Trek Delta shield on my back window. I've got Thundercats. My bumper sticker on the back says Mr. Spock for President.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if you saw a car like that,
That's right.
we would pull it over.
We would pull it over and step out of the vehicle and then grill them, if you will, on their knowledge of what they have on, or what decals that they represent on their vehicle.
Exactly.
To see if they are legitimately as nerdy as they
appear to be. Right.
And then if they're not, we write them tickets.
And we would record the actual interrogation, and that would be part. Maybe we would film it and put it on YouTube
Yes,
as well.
exactly. That would, it would have to be kind of half and half, I think.
I think so. I think it's a fun idea.
I think it is a fun idea.
It would take a lot of creativity and effort.
Yes, it would. Would we get in trouble? Probably.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's a fun idea.
It is a fun idea.
With all kinds of different segments we could have.
Exactly.
And maybe we'll work on that one day.
Yes, and if any of you listeners have any ideas or, other, what's the...
segment suggestions?
Suggestions to, give us a little bit of a boost to go down that route and finally get this going, then we're all ears.
Because our flow together as brothers, we have a good dynamic.
I think so.
I think so too.
I think it's not bad.
We always have a fun time.
Yeah.
Here in Northern
I'm always
Ontario.
picking up what you're putting down.
You definitely are. Yes, that's true. So guess what I got to do this week?
What did you get to do this week?
I got to dress up as a robot and go to a fancy restaurant.
Yes, you did.
We all know our good friend Karen.
Yes.
She is the leader of the Crimson Dawn Klingon fleet ship here in town. And she does something called GISH.
GISH.
Or Greatest International Scavenger Hunt. It's organized by Misha Collins of Supernatural fame. And this week actually is, as we're recording it, it's just ending. Every summer, I think the last week of July, they do the whole scavenger hunt.
Right.
And it's an international team, of course, and they have to do 200 or more different items, take pictures, take videos, do different things.
There's a lot.
There is a lot of things.
Yeah.
She was telling me earlier this week that she had to get a tattoo of something.
Mm-hmm.
She had to cut her hair. She has did have hair almost halfway down her back. She cut it all off and got her friend to shave a picture of her face in the back of her head as one of the items. So that was one thing. But what she needed to do for the event that I was taking place in, she had to go on a blind date with a robot. So she put the word out there, and she knew that I like robot stuff.
Well, who doesn't know that? Yeah.
Because what would give that away?
What would give that away? I have no idea.
Would it be the stickers on my car?
Stickers on your car, your collection of robots throughout the house, or maybe it could be the fact that this podcast that we're on right now, this one right here, is called the Rusted Robot Podcast.
Oh, that might give it away.
That might just give it away a little bit. Don't know for sure.
Hard to say. But anyway, she booked us a table at the Cedar Meadows Resort.
I've never been there.
No, it's expensive. I was looking at some of the things on the menu. Steak and lobster for $70.
Yowie, wowie.
Right. But other things were okay, like fish and chips, $18. Some burger for $16. But so we had our friend Mark there with us taking pictures. I can show you them once it's been released to the public.
Yes.
Because I think today is actually when the event's over and she can do that.
Okay, so I was looking forward to seeing these pictures of you in your robot regalia.
Yes, because what I did was I wore my my RoboCop one-piece outfit, bodysuit.
Yeah.
But the mask for that wasn't very good, so I used a Terminator mask with half the ripped skin and the metal underneath, and then the Darth Vader helmet part that goes on the back.
Yeah.
And so we went out there for dinner. I dressed up in that as we went, and I had to walk through the restaurant in my robot outfit.
Were you getting stared at?
Probably, but I wasn't looking at anybody else. But the waitress was amused, and apparently they like when people come there and take pictures.
Oh, well, that's good.
So that was my fancy robot fake blind date picture taking experience.
Excellent.
And we had a couple appetizers, and they were delicious.
Well, that's good. That's the important thing.
So I got to be a robot.
You got to be a robot. Your fantasies got to come true.
That's right. Now, if I could just figure out how to actually download my consciousness into the internet and live forever, that'd be another thing.
Well, I think you've already done that.
Oh?
Yeah.
How's that?
By the means of the Rusted Robot and Soulforge podcast.
What's the Soulforge podcast?
Well, it's another podcast that you host, and I've also been on that.
You have?
I have.
Several times, in fact.
Several times, in fact.
Where could people find that podcast?
I believe you could find that at soulforgepodcast.podbean.com.
Incorrect, sir.
Oh, sheet.
Close. You can find this one, therustedrobot.podbean.com. But I got an actual website for Soulforge.
Oh, well, hallelujah, Mr. Fancy.
Right, Mr. Fancy Pants here. Soulforgepodcast.com.
I was close enough.
We're also on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Oh, Spotify.
And not only that, we're on the ESO network.
That's true.
Have you heard of the ESO
I
network?
have heard of the ESO network.
You know what that's all about?
Yes, and I believe we're going to play one of their promos right now.
I'm thinking we will, because as of June, we were supposed to update our promos because they wanted to keep it fresh and modern. And so about a month ago, I updated the things, sent the two for both Soulforge and Rusted Robot to the thing. And I've noticed that in the last month, since the new promos have been out, none of the other podcasts on the ESO network have played either one of my promos.
Oh, that's rude.
But you know what? I'm going to play one of theirs right here.
We are the Cigar Nerds, bringing nerdy sophistication and geeky indulgence on all topics, including movies, video games, science, and pop culture news, all from the Nerd Cave Cigar Lounge. Find us on iTunes, Stitchers, Google Play, and wherever fine podcasts are found, including ESOnetwork.com and CigarNerdPodcast.com. So fire up a cigar, it's time to get nerdy.
Because I'm the better man, and I will do that.
You gotta take the high ground sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta take the high ground.
Gotta take the high ground.
It's true.
There's no winning now, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. You were the chosen one.
That's right.
You were going to bring balance to the Force?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, and destroy the Sith, not join them.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've watched those crappy movies.
Me too.
Yes. So, speaking of the ESO network, I was talking to Mike.
Oh, okay.
He's the main guy for the ESO network. Him and the other Mike host the Earth Station 1 podcast. That's the flagship show. And I messaged him today on Messenger, and I said, you're going to Dragon Con, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's at the end of August. And he's like, yeah. Like, I have a week off at the end of August. If I go, is there a place for me to stay? And he said, yeah, you could stay with me. So I am going to drive down there.
Yeah.
If I was to leave from Timmins and go to Atlanta, Georgia, it would be like a 21-hour drive. But luckily...
Hotlanta,
yes. Luckily, I will already be in Mattawa, just outside of North Bay, for my buddy Frank's wedding. Mm-hmm. We know Frank from previous episodes of the podcast, where I was drunk with him and camping and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm going to witness his wedding to Martha.
Why did you say that name?
Exactly. That's what I was waiting for. So I'm going to go there for the wedding, and then I'm going to sneak out and go through Toronto, and Deep River is a little town somewhere around that area. I'm not quite sure, but my buddy Dave, who I went to university with in the 90s, he said there's a collectible store that just opened up. So I'm going to check that out, meander my way down. It's a 16-hour drive from the Mattawa area down to Atlanta.
It's a bit of a drive.
It's a bit of a drive, so I'll take 2 days and do it.
Or you could just do it in one shot.
I could. Depends on my feelings.
Yeah.
It's a lot of driving.
It is.
But there's going to be all kinds of people there.
You know, if you had like a king of the highway that has, driving endurance, if you knew somebody that could drive that distance in one shot, it wouldn't be too bad.
Do I know anybody like that?
You do.
Who's that?
And he's sitting right beside you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to come?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that.
Well, that would be fun.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll discuss it.
Yeah. But guess who is going to be there? All kinds of guests.
All kinds of guests.
Robert J. Sawyer is going to be there.
Oh, Robert J. Sawyer.
Hi, my name's Robert J. Sawyer. I'm an award-winning science fiction writer, and you're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast, Don't forget to follow them on Twitter.
I interviewed him on episode 13 of the podcast.
Yes, you did. I remember that.
You do?
Yeah.
Good.
I remember listening to that one as well.
Oh, that was one of the highlights of the early Rusted Robot.
Yes, sir.
Paul McGillian is going to be there.
Hey gang, this is Paul McGillian, Stargate Atlantis.
Gary Jones, Stargate SG-1, old school.
Thank you very much, Dr. Beckett.
Walter Harriman, Gatekeeper.
We're here at Thunder Bay Comic Con having a great time, and we're with Rusty Robot Podcast.
Wahoo! Boo!
You know who he is?
I absolutely do.
No, you don't.
Nope.
He played on Stargate Atlantis.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget?
And I met him last year at ThunderCon in Thunder Bay, Ontario. And he wanted to take a picture with me because he thought I looked like one of the creators of Stargate.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about that?
I've still got the photo.
Well, why didn't you maybe bullish a little bit and claim that?
Where?
Just to random people. Maybe, and say, listen, I'm the creator.
The creator's a little bit older than I am.
That's fine.
But
they've got that face app now. You can make yourself look older.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So they're going to be there. George Takei is going to be there.
Oh.
Lieutenant Sulu from
Yes.
the original series of Star Trek. That's pretty cool. And that whole list, all kinds of different people. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I get to meet Mike from the ESO Network, which is awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Finally get to,
Yeah. And I had a week off. And I'm like, what am I going to do?
What are you going to do?
I was going to go visit my friend Amanda in BC, but she's not even going to be there. She said, Shawn, you can stay at my place and use it as a home base. I said, yeah, but you're not going to be there, and I haven't seen you in a dozen years. Why would I go?
Right.
Maybe because I've never been to Vancouver.
Neither have I. Vancouver's a nice place, I hear.
That's what I hear. Yep. I know Bishop's mom lived in the BC area for a few years.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And everybody says it's great out there.
Yeah.
A little bit expensive.
A little bit.
So one day I'll go there. And then I thought, well, you know what? Maybe what I'll do is I will go and just take a hike, a little bit of a jaunt over to England.
Oh, yeah. You could swim over that.
Why not?
Why not?
Oh, because I can't swim.
Ah, right.
That's probably why. But I could go see Daniel Peter Hitch.
Hello, I'm Daniel Peter Hitch, author of the Connected Worlds Chronicles and the Bubbles the Pirate children's book series. You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Yes.
Paul Wright.
Paul Wright, yeah.
Mike from Gatecast.
Oh, yes.
And James from London, who does the Battlebridge podcast. Oh. I could visit all my British buddies.
You
in
could.
one shot.
You very well could.
But I think I'm going to Dragon Con this year, buddy.
Okay.
So maybe next year I'll go over England.
All right.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not.
Or maybe next year you should try to do San Diego.
Ooh, San Diego Comic-Con.
I've only been saying for the last 8 years that I have to go, and I will do it by 2020. Well, obviously, my vision isn't perfect, and it won't be in 2020 either, because I wear glasses, unfortunately.
You do. I see them now.
So I don't think I'll be getting to San Diego Comic-Con at any time soon, but I hold high hopes for one day.
Well, I was looking at our Facebook memories the other week, and one came up from 2014, and you were messaging me on Facebook and said, hey brother, let's go to Comic-Con next year. I'm like, okay, start saving money.
Yeah.
And we never went. And we never saved the money.
And we never saved the money.
No, and it's very sad.
Yeah. Sad state of affairs.
It is a very sad state of affairs.
What can you do? Especially when you live all the way up here in Northern Ontario, which is so far away from all that,
Culture?
Yeah. And there's none up here?
That's why I've always called Timmins the land that culture forgot.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
No.
Now that I've been here now for a few months, I've definitely taken that in.
Right. That's why I created the podcast in the first place. Had to bring a bit of culture to town.
Had to do something.
Yeah. So here we are.
5.5
years later. Still recording episodes.
Still doing it. Staying strong.
That's right. That's the Rusted Robot Podcast way.
That's right.
So what else are we going to talk about?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Well, there's a show that has come to Amazon Prime that you might be interested in.
Tell me more.
I will tell you more. It's called The Boys.
Oh, yes.
And it's a morbidly frank breath of fresh air about the cult of superhero worship, apparently, according to the IO9 article that I've got here. It says here, The cynicism of Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson's The Boys isn't something that you can dismiss in the age of comic book adaptations we're currently living through, and Amazon's done nothing to downplay that fact with its new series based on the book. Whether we like to admit it or not, superheroes and the corporations that created them have become integral parts of our general pop cultural discourse, and that reality is something worth unpacking. Are you intrigued already?
I am.
It says, despite all of its larger-than-life comic booky trappings, The Boys is a show rooted in a very specific aspect of our reality. Here, superheroes aren't just real or symbolic figures living lives removed from those of the people they protect. They're bona fide celebrities who make awkward appearances on late-night talk shows, promoting both their heroic efforts and the upcoming films based on their lives, all of which are carefully orchestrated by a monolithic corporation that the public worships. And there's a trailer, but it is so filled with violence and swears that I can't play it.
Oh, that's too bad.
What I'll do, for the end song, I'll play this trailer so that our listeners, after they hear the first part of the end credits, they'll know to turn it off if there's kids listening.
Right.
So they can hear the...
Responsible.
That's right.
Yes.
So it'll be after the podcast proper, between the two end credit segments at the end.
I like that.
Not a bad idea?
Now, didn't you actually see a movie this week?
I did.
Well, how about you fill us in on that?
Okay, because we haven't actually watched The Boys yet on Amazon.
That's right.
So we'll have to give that a go.
Yes, we will.
But I did go, and I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the 9th film from Quentin Tarantino.
Ah, gotta love the Quentin Tarantino.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy his work.
Yeah.
Quite a lot.
I think I do too. I didn't really like Inglourious Bastards too much.
I loved that one.
Yeah?
I thought it was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I picked up Jackie Brown on Blu-ray the other day because it was only $6.
Yeah.
Still haven't watched it. I've never seen it. I didn't like the first one, Reservoir Dogs.
I love Reservoir Dogs. Reservoir Dogs is probably my favorite Tarantino film.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I do love Kill Bill.
Kill Bill's good.
Death Proof is pretty good.
Death Proof is fantastic.
What's the other one? Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction is also up there.
That's amazing. The Hateful Eight was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't anything outstandingly amazing. It was good, but it wasn't his best.
And I really liked Django Unchained.
Yes.
That was a good one.
That also was a good one.
Yep. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Robin.
Yes, tell me more.
Well, it was all right. It's got Leo.
Yes.
And Brad Pitt.
It does.
It has Margot Robbie, who you know as Harley Quinn from that horrible movie.
Yes.
Also from I, Tonya. She played Tonya Harding.
That's right.
In this...
Wolf of Wall Street as well.
Oh, yeah?
I believe so. Or one of those movies that they were in, she was in too, no? I think.
I don't watch that kind of stuff. So can't really tell you.
Okay.
But she plays Sharon Tate.
Oh, yes.
The ill-fated wife of Roman Polanski. This takes place in 1969. And
was it the summer of '69?
There was parts of it in the summer of '69. Thank you, Bryan Adams.
You're welcome.
And it was mostly about Leonardo DiCaprio's failing career.
Yes.
Well, not Leonardo's, but the character he plays.
The character he plays with his stuntman.
Yes. Brad Pitt is the stuntman. And it's just kind of meandering and all over the place. So it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh, it's a long movie.
It is. And for about 2 hours and 25 minutes, you're just watching random scenes that aren't really connected to anything. And then in the last 10 or 15 minutes, it all comes together. It's the summer of '69. We see the Manson killers. But it's an alternate history take.
Right.
I won't give away the ending.
Yes. No spoiler free is the way to go.
Very, very much spoiler free here at Rusted Robot headquarters. But interesting. It made me smile. I liked what they did with it.
Yeah.
I like how he does his alternate history takes.
Yes, yeah.
But the first 2.5 hours are kind of like, all right, this isn't really connected to anything. The only thing that connects them is Sharon Tate is the neighbor of the Leo character.
Oh, okay.
So there's a bit of that.
So it kind of just goes around itself a little bit?
Kind of.
And then all meets to a head at the end is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, no, I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to give it for a rivet rating. It's just too weird. I'll give it at least a 7.
Yeah.
Maybe a 7.5.
Okay.
Rusty rivets out of 10. I think I need to see it again to really absorb it.
Yeah. Because there's probably a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but not really anything going on at the same time.
So you have to kind of think Is it a thinking film? Or not so much?
I'm not sure how to even describe it.
It's a Tarantino film, so it's its own thing anyways.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
You can't watch a Tarantino film blindly, I guess.
Right.
You need to kind of pay attention and kind of understand his way of filmmaking is a lot more different than any other director.
True enough. It's amusing at times.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you think sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, huh, really? Okay, I like the way they did that. There's one scene where the Sharon Tate character goes to a movie theater to watch a screening of her own film.
Mm.
And we actually see part of that film, but I couldn't tell if it was the actual film itself or Margot Robbie inserted into the film.
Oh, so like a recreation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it might have been the actual Sharon Tate, but I've never seen the actual film.
Okay. Most likely, it would have been footage from the movie.
I think it was.
That's what I think.
Because the Sharon Tate character in the film doesn't look 100% like Margot Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to go see the film called The Wrecking Crew to see if that's actually what it is.
Right.
So I don't think I've ever seen a Sharon Tate film before.
I don't know if I have either.
Yeah, hard to say.
Hard to say.
But yeah, go see it in the theater. It's not that violent until the very last end part, the last 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
And of course the violence is hilarious.
No, I like hilarious violence.
Mm-hmm. And there's a bit of tension in the film at certain points.
Of course,
So
yes.
you're ratcheting it up, and you're like, oh boy, I'm not looking forward to the end scene, because we all know the Sharon Tate character was murdered by the Manson family.
Yes.
So what they actually do in the film is kind of a relief.
Oh, okay.
So I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I did. Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
If you are loving this podcast, you should tell a friend about it.
Spread the word about podcasts you think they would enjoy. There's something for everyone, from entertainment and lifestyle
To news and politics
and more. Share it on social media. Believe it or not, some people don't know how great podcasts are.
or even how to find and listen to them.
You can help change that with a click. Tell your friends about your favorite podcast.
Thanks for spreading the word.
And do you think Tarantino is going to direct the Star Trek film as his 10th feature?
Well, see, I was just about to ask you, because the rumors are swirling abound.
Oh, yes.
That, he's going to be directing Star Trek as his final movie.
Right, because he says every director has 10 good films under his belt. And so he wants to...
But that's what he says.
That's what he says. That's
I
right.
mean...
And he's been directing films since, 1992. So
Yeah.
he's done one every 3 years, roughly.
Roughly.
Not a lot of output, like, what's his name? Woody Allen has done one every year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got like 40.
And then, there's people that will completely disagree with us and say that Quentin Tarantino is a hack,
Mm-hmm.
and his films aren't any good, and nobody likes those movies.
Right.
But I say to them, you're wrong, and you can suck it.
Is that what you say?
That's what I say.
Okay.
But I would almost have to disagree with Quentin on the fact that his directors only have 10 good films in them, or whatever. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to go through a director's complete list of all the movies that they've done.
Oh, you don't think that would be fun for us?
I don't think so.
All right.
Maybe on the Pop Culture Police podcast we could do that.
Ooh, a director special episode.
Yes.
We do that once every 4 episodes or so.
Indeed.
And then take the worst film and put it in prison and interrogate it.
That's right.
Aha, I like it.
Sentence it to death, maybe.
There you go, depending on what it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Now, Star Trek and Tarantino, it's such a weird...
dichotomy?
Yeah. And would I watch it? Of course I would watch it. I would watch it regardless. I do like Star Trek.
Watch the heck out of it.
Yeah. And I like Tarantino films, and if that's the case, that means this Star Trek film would probably be closer to a rated R.
Well, he said it would be rated R. Yeah.
So that would make things exciting, and I think that would be a whole different take on it. But if it's going to be his last movie, then with Star Trek, you can do so many. Now, would this be a reboot, or would it be a one-off, or is it going to get continued from another director? Is it the same cast as the last few movies? I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
And it may not ever happen.
It may not.
I hope it does, because I would love to see that. Because they're doing all kinds of new and different things in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
And some diehard fans are like, oh, they're wrecking Star Trek, they're ruining it, they're wrecking my childhood, and all that stuff.
We could say that about the Marvel movies, too.
Sure.
But, I'm like a fat kid in a candy store when it comes to all that.
Yeah.
Give it to me. Let me have
Just
it.
consume it all.
I consume it.
In all kinds of various guises and different forms and shapes.
Exactly.
As long as they're making the thing,
yes,
who cares?
Exactly.
That's exactly what I think too. So you know what now is a good time for?
What is a good time for?
How about some Star Trek headlines of the week?
Black alert. Black alert.
Sure.
Okay. So I'll go to trekmovie.com and they're always updating the different things about that.
Oh, yeah.
So first headline says, the CBS Viacom merger update. Parties agree on a leadership team. So that means the two Star Trek companies, one owns the movies, one owns the TV series, are going to recombine forces, and then we'll get a integrated universe again.
Oh, okay.
So that could be exciting. CBS execs talk coordinating Discovery and Picard and the limitless future of Star Trek. So that might have some people upset. I'm not actually reading any of the articles themselves.
Right.
These are just the headlines.
The clickbait articles, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Would they connect the Discovery universe to the Picard series? That could be interesting. Oh, Star Trek Discovery Season 2 is arriving on Blu-ray in November.
Oh.
So that's pretty cool. The Star Trek Picard series is to be preceded by book and comic prequels. So we'll get a little bit of background if you're into books and comics.
Yeah.
Before the series begins. There's an article here where Jerry Ryan talks about Seven's new adventures in Star Trek Picard.
I'm looking forward to seeing Jerry Ryan return as 709.
Yeah. And she looks like she's a lot more fun. She's not as bottled up as she was on the Voyager series.
Mm-hmm.
She's had 20 odd years to grow as a person.
Yes.
More human.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. At STLV, or Star Trek Las Vegas, Brent Spiner reveals clue about Data's return in Star Trek Picard.
Yeah, how about that, eh?
So he's going to be a story point, but he's not going to be in every episode.
Wow.
Yeah. The writing team for the Nickelodeon Star Trek cartoon has been revealed. So that's going to be the one for younger kids.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to watch them all, even if it is a kid's cartoon. I don't care. Shazad Latif on Section 31 Star Trek show will know more in a year. So he played Ash Tyler, or Volk, the Klingon human kind of amalgam. Did you watch any Star Trek Discovery?
You know what? I have not. I kept meaning to, but I have a long list of other shows that were keeping me occupido, so I just never got around to watching it, and I still have to do that.
You do, because I need somebody to talk to about it, because Josh watched 5 episodes of season 1, and then he rage quit.
He rage quitted? Oh.
He did.
I did that with the Krypton series.
I watched
the very first episode,
that's all
and
I
that was all.
That was all for me, too.
I couldn't
Couldn't do it. But they're still making that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
And the only, and this is what made me mad, is they have Lobo in I think they're on the third season now?
I think 3.
Yeah, 3rd season, and there was, when it was coming back, they had featurettes for Lobo. And Lobo is one of my favorite characters in the DC world, but it still wasn't enough to make me watch that show.
No, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Further in the headlines, George Takei would consider returning for Quentin Tino's Star Trek.
Oh my.
Did I just say that name in one? Quentin Tino's?
Yeah, Quentin
I did,
Tino.
didn't I? That's like when I say Chris Hemsworth, it becomes Crimsworth.
Oh, Crimsworth,
yeah.
Nice.
But anyway, Sula would return. And we also have William Shatner would like to be in Quentin Tarantino Star Trek movie. Robert Picardo, who played the Doctor in Voyager, is in early discussions to appear in Season 2 of Star Trek Picard. We're going to get a Best of Picard Star Trek TV movie collection coming to Blu-ray with a new IDW comic. What do you think about that?
I like it.
Star Trek The Motion Picture is returning to the big screen for a 2-day anniversary screening. That's from Fathom Events. I don't think we're going to get it up here.
Probably not.
We don't get much in Timmins. And what else have we got here? Oh, the Star Trek Discovery cast talks about going beyond Voyager and canon in Season 3. We've got a new line of Star Trek wines announced, including Chateau Picard Bordeaux. So,
my goodness.
Yeah. So, of course, we all know Picard lives on a vineyard, and Chateau Picard is the family's wine, but that's an actual wine in real life as well.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're going to have to get yourself a bottle of that.
Yes. So
even if you don't drink it, you're going to just need to have it.
It would look pretty fantastic on my shelf.
It would.
Yes.
Right next to your Picard bust, perhaps.
Probably, yes. So today, Wines That Rock introduces Star Trek Wines, a collection of special vintages inspired by the Star Trek universe. Under license from CBS Consumer Products, the first two releases are a 2016 Chateau Picard Cru Bourgeois from Bordeaux, France, and a special reserve United Federation of Planets Old Vine Zinfandel. The collection is available exclusively at StarTrekWines.com. Of course, Chateau Picard is well known to fans as the family winery of Jean-Luc Picard, first featured in Star Trek The Next Generation. Trailers and posters for the Star Trek Picard series show how Jean-Luc Picard begins the series having retired to Chateau Picard in France's Le Bar region. However, Chateau Picard is also the name of an award-winning multi-generational vineyard in the Bordeaux region of France. Wines That Rock has teamed with the actual Chateau Picard vineyard to introduce the Star Trek Chateau Picard wine. The 2016 Chateau Picard Bordeaux is an 85% Cabernet Sauvignon and 15% Merlot blend that is subtly smoky and spicy with a bright, fresh, clean-tasting style. The wine spends 14 months in oak, 70% seasoned, and 30% new. So if you know anything about wine, I'm sure that's fantastic.
And I can assure you, I don't, but I'm excellent at whining.
You are. You certainly are.
I just like to have some cheese with my wine.
Well, sure, that's a good segue.
Yeah.
But to finish up the article here, Chateau Picard Bordeaux is priced at $50 a bottle and will begin shipping in mid to late September. You can order direct in the USA from StarTrekWines.com.
How about we just order some Kraken instead?
Kraken?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, that, my friend, is a good time.
That's my truth serum.
Yes.
Yes, I get pretty funky up on Kraken.
Yeah, you do.
47.
47.
47.
47.
47.
47.
47.
47.
47.
47.
47.
No!
Percent spiced dark rum. That's the good stuff kids go for.
It is the good stuff kids go for, but let me tell you, bad things will happen to good people if you drink too much of it.
What do you mean?
Let's just say there's been some nights where consuming too much of that has led to some unwise decision making.
On your part?
On my part.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to get into that list of details, but I'm sure the listeners can use their imaginations and figure that out.
Yes.
What I would like to talk about for a minute is the upcoming CW Arrowverse crossover.
The Crisis on Infinite Earth?
That's right, because it's been confirmed that Black Lightning is going to appear.
Is that right?
Yes.
I enjoyed season 1 of that.
Season 1 wasn't bad.
I haven't watched the rest of it.
No, I got all caught up on that.
Oh, good. It's in my list. I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah. So it'll be the last season of Arrow.
Yep.
And
it's
a short season,
mm-hmm.
which I assume is going to lead into the crossover.
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I'm looking forward to that. They're bringing back a whole bunch of old actors. And
yeah, Burt Ward's Robin is going to be in it.
Yes.
Linda Carter's Wonder Woman is going to be in there.
That's right. She's been in Supergirl. So
yes, as the president, right?
As the president.
Mm-hmm.
And really cool little things like that, where Brandon Routh, who plays the Atom in Legends of Tomorrow,
yes,
who also played Superman in Superman Returns
from 2006,
he will be reprising that role in this whole little.
It's very exciting.
It's very exciting. It's one of those just moments.
Yeah.
Very, very nerdy. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very looking forward to it. October can't come soon enough.
You like your comic book movies?
I love them.
Do you like reading comic books?
I love reading my comic books.
Did you know that here in town...
Did you know that's how I started reading? That's how I learned
to read?
Yeah.
Through comic books?
Through comic books.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember having comic books in our house.
Really?
No.
Well, Mother would always get me Spider-Man comics.
Is that right?
Yes, for Easter and stuff.
Huh. I don't know why I wasn't paying attention to that.
Yeah. I mean, I had already learned how to read, mind you, at school.
Right.
But comics, I found, really spruced up my vocab.
Ah, yes.
And watching Spider-Man in the 90s and using quotes and words that were way too far advanced for me at that time.
Of course.
I would find a way to use them in the proper context, and I can really thank a lot of the, comic books and stuff like that for helping me, I would say, improve my vocabulary.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
It makes me not to be a troglodyte, which is nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yes. There is a comic book shop here in town.
Oh, I didn't know that!
Well, let me tell you all about it. Shameless plug alert.
Yeah.
Did you know my regular co-host Josh, he has a wife named Kitty.
He does.
Kitty has a sister named Julie. And together, Kitty and Julie own a comic book store here in town.
Oh, wait. I think I know its name.
What is it?
I think it's... Is it Jump City Comics?
Yes. At 38 Pine Street North in the 101 Mall.
Right! I'm actually a subscriber there.
You are. That's quite true. I was there the other day and I picked up the one-shot comic of Glow.
Nice.
Based on the Netflix series Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Which was an actual promotion.
Yes.
Back in the day.
That's true. The reason that I like Glow is, well, not only is it a great show...
Because of Mark Maron.
Mark Maron,
yeah.
the host of the WTF podcast, which I absolutely love.
And Mark Maron...
Lock the gate!
In Glow reminded me a whole bunch of Stan Lee.
Yep.
He should be
the cameo guy in the MCU.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
It's true. It's damn true.
Now to wrap up, this past week I do the Soul Forge podcast every Thursday. It comes out, and this week I talked to two guys from the A Play on Nerds podcast. Have you ever heard that podcast?
I have heard of it, but I have not listened to it.
Okay, it's one of my favorites. I listen to it as much as I listen to WTF. It's hosted by Stephen Jarman. Last Sunday, I had a Skype interview with Steve, and this past Thursday, I had a Skype interview with Jarman, and those are going to be two upcoming episodes of the Soul Forge podcast. Episodes, I believe, 114 and 115. This week coming is episode 113. It's the first tactical mini or quick shots episode.
Right.
Did I tell you about those?
You did tell me about those.
Instead of a full-length episode, I do like a 3 or 4 minute diatribe on one topic, and I'm going to string a bunch of those together, and that's going to be an episode.
That sounds exciting.
Mm-hmm. So that's all the updates this week. If you haven't checked out a Play on Nerds podcast, you definitely should. PlayOnNerds.com.
You should.
Steve and Jarman are awesome. And other than that, is there anything else we should talk about before we bid adieu to our lovely listeners?
Well, I'm just trying to take a quick look here to see if there's, anything else that's popping up that could be newsworthy.
Okay.
Not seeing anything too much.
There hasn't been a lot. I didn't detect any celebrity deaths.
No.
Nothing major in casting news. Everything's pretty quiet because it all came out at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, exactly. I will go out on record and say I'm slightly disappointed that Wesley Snipes will not be reprising his role as Blade in the MCU.
I was kind of hoping he would as well.
Yes.
But Mahershala Ali is an amazing actor.
He is, but he was also in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
So technically he's already a part of the MCU.
I know, because he played the owner of that bar and the brother of what's-her-name, who played Alfre Woodard.
Yes.
Who played Lily Sloan in Star Trek First Contact, 1996.
How big is this ship?
There are 24 decks. Almost 700 meters long.
It took me 6 months to scrounge up enough titanium just to build a 4-meter cockpit. How much does this thing cost?
The economics of the future are somewhat different. You see, money doesn't exist in the 24th century.
No money? You mean you don't get paid?
The acquisition of wealth is no longer the driving force in our lives. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity.
Wham, bam, there it is.
It all connects.
Oh, no, it's all connected.
Yep. Cottonmouth. He played Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth,
That's
right.
what it was.
Yes.
So
Cottonmouth is Blade?
Cottonmouth
or is Blade Cottonmouth?
I don't know. How does it all work?
How does it all work?
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I guess we will.
Yep. Lots of exciting things coming in the future.
That's right.
So, Robin, thanks for coming over to the Rusted Robot headquarters.
Well, you're welcome. I felt like I was already here.
Well, you do live here. That's true. Because we're recording in the basement at our house instead of at Josh's kitchen table.
Yes.
So that's been another lovely, rousing, exciting episode of Rusted Robot Podcast for the beginning of August 2019. Listeners, join the Facebook page. Join the Facebook group. Share the links with your friends. Tell your family about us. Join the YouTube channel. Just look up my name.
Shawn Vanderloo.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends' friends.
Even tell your enemies. We just need listeners.
That's right.
And until next time, remember, you don't have to explain anything to anybody about anything. You have been listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. To contact the show, email therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweet us at therustedrobot. Join the Facebook page and group and visit the website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. The Rusted Robot Podcast was put together by Shawn and Josh and the Rusty crew. Please remember to check out our other show, the Soulforge Podcast. Visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall and leave a glowing review in your chosen podcast app. Thank you and have a geeky day.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
The greatest superhero team the world's ever seen. The Seven.
Is there anything I can help you with? I'm not gonna piss you about, Huey. I heard what happened to Robin. You ain't alone, son. Soups lose hundreds of people each year to collateral damage. I can't stop. Robin! They want my business on the front page. That's where I mean the boys are coming. I never wanted to ever be over. Spank the bastards when they get out of line. Can you control her, please? You need to unclench your asshole. Why are you two carrying on like a bunch of fucking twins? Who the fuck is this? You got a fucking job to do.
I'm invincible, stupid motherfuckers.
I'm the world's greatest superhero. I can do whatever the fuck I want. We're on the verge of nailing these wankers. I'm done. Oi, what's Sporty Spice up to? Who? Sporty fucking Spice, what's she up to? I don't know. And baby, not even page 6 of the Daily Mail. You see, when they're apart, they're absolute fucking rubbish. But you put them together, they're the goddamn fucking Spice Girls. The point is, we need each other. We're fucking dead in the water.
Jesus, he gives the worst pep talks.
He really does.
I can't do this.
You just pulled the fucking trigger!
Sorry!
We're the Seven. Earth's most mighty motherfucker.
Please, no, please.
Pardon my French. Fuck those fuckers.
If you wanna be my lover.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.